All right, part three. Time for the Premier League predictions for Gameweek 1. Just a disclaimer, I do fully actually think Man City will win the league, even though I put Liverpool in my formal official predictions, which we will be using by the end of the season. I just thought it was a good wild shot, it might pay off at the end of the season. Let's see. And, Liverpool have looked pretty good in pre-season, to be fair. They've won all their games, won most of them pretty convincingly, and haven't even had to make any signings to do so. And if they still make one or two signings before the end of the window, they really actually could. Let's see. Anyway, getting on to my predictions. So, first game, Friday night, Manchester United versus Fulham. Okay, what do I predict? Man United going to have way too much for Fulham, guys. Way too much. De Ligt will be there. Mazraoui will be there. Garnacho is still pretty damn good. Yoro's out injured. Xerxes not ready for a couple of weeks. Hoyland's out probably for about another, I think, 4 or 5 weeks. But their team is still so good. They've got good teams now. They've upgraded some positions. They've backed the manager. He's got some consistency in the door. They did pretty well against the Man City in the Community Shield now, fought till the end. Still got some really good quality players there. They're buzzing because they know they've got some really good guys coming in soon as well that will make their way into the team. And they've had a good window. They've been a bit stable as well for a change. So, I think they're going to have way too much quality, Fulham. I'm going to say Man United 4, Fulham 0. Also, it's at Old Trafford, so Fulham don't really, and it's opening day, Fulham don't stand much of a chance, I think. Man, this will be one of the biggest wins of the week, and I'm going to say Manchester United 4, Fulham 0. Second match, Ipswich versus Liverpool at Ipswich. I think that's Ipswich's only saving grace is the fact that they're at home, but I still think Liverpool's slot, even without another signing in before Saturday, which in the game is before even unlikely there will be a new signing signed, sealed, delivered, ready to go by then. So, even with this current squad, way too much quality against Ipswich Town. But still, I don't think they're going to wipe the floor just because Ipswich are at home. But it will still be a convincing opening first game for slot in the league, post Klopp era win. I'm going to say Ipswich 0, Liverpool 2. Third game, Arsenal versus Wolves at the Emirates Stadium. I think it's going to be a bit closer than we maybe think. I don't think Arsenal are going to bulldoze quite to what the level people might think they are going to do this season, but they're definitely better than Wolves. So there's no two ways around it. They will beat them. They will beat them, definitely. And Jesus is still fit for now. Havertz will still be there, obviously. Saka's still there. Calafiori is probably going to be either on the bench or starting as their left back. Timber's come back from injury now after basically being bought as one of their big signings of last season, then being injured for the whole season. They're a pretty good squad. Still got Odegaard, etc. Raya's brilliant goalkeeper, won Golden Glove last season. I'm going to say Arsenal 2, Wolves 1. Fourth game, Everton versus Bournemouth. Everton versus Brighton and Hove Albion. Brighton this season, I don't have very high hopes for them. They declined quite a lot from 2 seasons ago to last season, and I think it's going to be much of the same. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be a closer performance to last season than it is for 2 seasons ago. Their new manager is 32. He's younger than some players who are currently still playing for some Premier League teams. Only played in Bundesliga second tier. His only other real gig he's had. Very hipster choice as a manager after Roberto De Zerbi did so well from particularly 2 seasons ago. No, I don't. I'm not feeling it. Hey, I think even Sean Dyche's Everton are actually maybe would be too much, especially because they're the home team on this first game. And I think after staying up, even with all their points deductions last season, they might be a bit buzzing. To be fair, and they almost have their new stadium at complete now. Will be complete by the end of this Premier League season. So I think they're kind of going in a pretty decentish direction. To be fair. Got rid of Onana. That's quite a big loss going to Aston Villa, but Dyche apparently wasn't really a big fan of Onana anyway. So, I'd say Everton 2, Brighton 1. Sorry, St. Pauli, hipster dude. Not happening for the first game. Dyche and Everton away from home, very tough customer. Okay, as Spurs would tell you. Okay, Newcastle versus Southampton. Whew. You know what? Very few teams struggle as much away to Newcastle as what Spurs do. So you know what? I'm actually going to go for a bit of a rogue one here. And Newcastle haven't really impressed me much in their transfer business, and based off the end of last season's form and whatever, had a bit of a fall off. Now they're not like even in Europe. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna say Newcastle 1, Southampton 1. I think it might actually be a sneaky little draw there. To be fair.